Let's take a look at the 1992 released Happy Meal McDonald's toys of Looney Tunes in DC superhero costumes. I was kind of wondering what exactly this was promoting. Looney Tunes did get showed on various channels, like in reruns, since they were all kind of made in like the 40s. But the DC superhero link, the Superpowers toy line that turned into the DC comic superheroes figures, was kind of done by about 1990, like right when the first Batman movie came out. So this is kind of tied to that toy line, but it was already done. So I don't know if they were just too late getting these out or what. Let's go over all of them. As a kid, I didn't have Daffy Duck, so I have a new one here. So we can see what they looked like brand new. Looks like they came with little comic book things. Gonna stamp out despicable injustice. Daffy as Bat Duck. So it's just like a little comic of the character kind of messing around with being that superhero. And not much else really going on with those. But the little costume piece came separate, and then the character in like a little plastic bedding for them. So we got Daffy Duck here. They're just stuck in their pose. They're just solid figures like this. I'm not sure why I didn't end up with Daffy before, but I always liked Daffy Duck. Would have been cool to have. So we got the solid figure. We got the costume piece that splits into two. It just has like pegs that hold it together once you close it around the figure. A little bit of an old school comic book Batman costume, up with the Duck logo, of course. Get that on the back. No mask for him. They didn't go that elaborate there. He just kind of has a Batman hood. Looks like in the little comic he had like the full Batman cowl. So they kind of cheaped out there just a little bit. But the point is made. He's Daffy Duck as some sort of Batman parody. I don't think there was ever a cartoon or anything episode with him doing a Batman parody. He did other hero parodies like Dick Tracy and Buck Rogers and stuff like that. I don't remember a Batman one. But of course there was always like comics and things like that. Could have been something. But I think these just tied in with what they were doing for these Happy Meal toys. So finally got Bat Duck to add. The next one I always had as a kid, I had the Bugs Bunny. And I actually played with this quite a bit. Because again, they were just always on TV, showing reruns of Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies and such. You can see a little wear and stuff on here because I did use this play around quite a bit. I didn't have any other like Bugs Bunny action figure. I think I had a stuffed animal or something. But he has the Superman costume, the Super Bugs or Super Rabbit, as you got to see in an actual Merry Melodies cartoon where they did like a Superman parody. There was like the 1940 or 41 Superman cartoon way back in the day, and this was kind of like the 1943. They did a Bugs Bunny cartoon kind of spoofing him. A little bit different costume in that one, a little baggier for the joke's sake, and an older school Superman costume with like a little S. Here we have the B, and then making this his own character, Super Bugs. And we got like the tights and stuff, so I always like this one. I always like to play it. Imagine him eating the carrots that gave him his superpowers in that short cartoon. I like that idea. He had the little case, and he'd pull out a carrot and eat it to get his powers going. So naturally, any superhero-themed episode of even like a Looney Tunes cartoon, I liked quite a bit just because I always liked all the superhero-y stuff. So he even had a little space for his tail. You know, again, no articulation, but I would still play this. Since you could take the costume on and off, you could transform into the Super Rabbit, as I would usually call it, since that was in the actual cartoon. I thought, oh, maybe that's what this is from, but it really wasn't. It was just some sort of like Warner Brothers, you know, promotion combining two of their things, Looney Tunes and DC Comics. We got Super Bugs. Can't say I remember too many Petunia Pig cartoons as a kid, but I think they were really lacking in female characters, and they really wanted to have Wonder Woman, so here we got Petunia Pig in this weird, almost like a bathing suit or something. No Porky Pig here, just the four in the line. Hers is kind of the weird costume out because the Wonder Woman costume has so much like skin tone still that the piece has all the skin tone still, so put it on her, it's just like makes her a little bigger. But it has nice colors as like the old school Wonder Woman costume. Even the detail with the lasso of truth on her. Nothing changing up here, she still just has her pink ribbons, so it doesn't have like her tiara or anything like that to really get the Wonder Woman bit across. I think just my sister had this one as a kid. I don't remember having it to play with my Bugs Bunny. But I got it from her now because I always collect all this little stuff anyway, so. It is nice they included Wonder Woman in the lineup. Could have easily went with like an Aquaman Porky Pig or something like that. But it does still look pretty cool. Wonder Pig. There she is. We got Taz here, which is interesting. He was actually pretty popular even way back when these were newer cartoons. My grandpa even had a tattoo of Taz on his arm, like way back when. He's one of those like super popular cartoon characters, I think, way back, even though he had very limited appearances on stuff. And probably not that many cartoons to his name. So pretty interesting with his little shape here. The Tasmanian Devil. And again, I did play with these quite a bit because you can see a little wear on the nose. He probably has the most interesting choice of costume. Not really the most popular, you know, going with Superman, Batman with the others. We got a Flash costume. And the superheroes back then weren't actually that, like, household name famous. So, always intriguing that he had the Flash costume, and it was like his symbol was like a little tornado that the Tasmanian Devil would turn into. I always like kind of playing with these and having the superhero Bugs Bunny mostly, but then having Taz as the Flash to back him up. Kind of the dark around his eyes almost looks like a little mask there with his, although the Flash would have more of like a red full cowl. And of course, even way back then, I wished I could have found those like superpowers action figures, but I never could have them. I always saw pictures and different things. Couldn't have them, so at least I had these. They were just kind of the Looney Tunes version, so not quite the same. But I did always watch Looney Tunes on TV. That was one of the few cartoons that would cycle quite a few times. Not really a good way to play Looney Tunes, but when you have the superhero element, that makes it a lot simpler to be playing with them as toys. Play with all Super Bugs, Super Rabbit all the time. We got completing the set with my Bat Duck. I think some of my friends, maybe cousins, might have had that, and we'd kind of play together, since sometimes they would have the missing McDonald's toys or something like that to my couple that I had. So kind of a double purpose serving here with like the DC Superheroes connection and Looney Tunes for my collection. I don't really have anything representing them. This is a good one to remember of the time, you know, very early 90s. Toys you get in your little $2 Happy Meal, burger and fries, and a drink. And a toy that you'd play with for far longer than it was intended. And still collectible today, because they were pretty well freaking made. I mean, they're not articulated, but the costume thing added a lot to these. So that's what I like to do here, is show off a lot of my 90s collectibles and things I had as a kid growing up, and things I wished I had, kind of hunt them down now, completing collections. So if that sounds like a fun time, you want to get subscribed right here, and head on to my next video. Firecracker, sis, boom, bah, Bugs Bunny, rah, rah, rah.